Action, and we are live. Welcome everyone to the first Mecca of Banter Podcast. Before we get started with introductions, I kind of wanted to give you guys a little background on who we are and what we do. We are here to talk about the beautiful game of football, or as Americans know it as soccer. So a little background, this all started with a group of guys. We all play soccer together, and we created a group message called the Mecca of Banter. And there's probably, I would say, 20 of us boys that we're all in there, and we talk a lot of trash on each other and a lot about soccer. So that's just a little background. If we want to get into introductions, Sean, would you like to start it off?
I'll start us off. My name is Sean Hughes. Grew up playing soccer in St. Louis. I think we're going to talk about my soccer roots. I need to give a quick shout out to my dad. He didn't play any soccer, but for some reason, out of all the sports, he kind of let me ride that one all the way through, so I appreciate it. Drove me to a good CYC team, right? A nice coach, Joe Koenig, some great friends on a great St. Albans CYC team. Moved forward in my soccer career. I got a Southampton Saints FC, the team I'm most passionate about. I've been riding with them since they got promoted in around 2012. And other than that, I'm not live in the game anymore, but
retired.
We're eager to get in there.
And there's one Saints fan in every state, right?
There is one Saints fan in every U.S. state. That is confirmed.
I hold it down.
I hold it down. We got a fan club. We got an Insta page. All right, let's hear from the gaffer.
Yes, my name's the Gaffer, Ryan Butchart. Just like Sean, grew up playing in St. Louis. Graduated from Lafayette High School 2013. Went on to play 2 years at Maryville University and then 2 more at Lindenwood University. 4 years in college, it was great. And then I started coaching in college right after at 23 at Lindenwood for a year and got hired as the head coach back at Lafayette last fall and just enjoying life now.
Lafayette couldn't be any luckier.
I appreciate you.
Couldn't agree. And who do you support, Butchie?
Liverpool, Premier League champions.
Some days Barca, depends on who's winning.
The Yankees.
The Warriors.
Whoever's winning.
I knew that was coming.
All right, I'll go next. My name's Nick Haflinger. Like these guys, I grew up in St. Louis, played soccer my whole life. Went to Eureka High School, rivals of Lafayette. Played 4 years there. Then went on to play at St. Louis Community College for 2 years. And then after that, I went on to play at Maryville University. And then after that, I went on and coached at Maryville for a year. And I'm officially retired from the game, just playing Sunday leagues and indoor games every once in a while.
We run Manchester Veta.
Yes, we run it.
Smoke?
Manchester
Veta.
Anyone want the smoke?
Promise you don't want it.
I am a newly Chelsea supporter. Gotta love the Blues. January 1 of this year, I kind of was given a lot of shit in the past for not having a club to support because I've been following the Premier League for a while now. And all the boys told me I had to pick a club. So after a month of hard research, I decided to go with Chelsea.
It's turning out to be a pretty good call. It's
Yeah.
looking like at the time.
Yeah, I got pretty lucky with that one. And Frank, we trust.
All right, let's hear from our
I'll finish
our
it
big
up.
center back over here.
Don't call me a center back. I'm Connor Sadobri. Grew up in Wildwood, Missouri, born and raised. Played with Sean and Butch here since we were probably 5 years old. So I've kind of grown to know these guys, grown to love the game with these guys. I met Nick, in high school, and one of those things where all 4 of us, we've grown up talking soccer, loving soccer. So this is something we're super passionate about. I'm super excited to be here with these guys. So shout out to the Mecca of Banter for the idea. Shout out to everybody here for making it happen. Just quick about myself. Grew up playing soccer. Went to CBC High School. After CBC, I went and played, finished and graduated from Quincy University. Loved my time there. Loved the game. I'd like to use this platform I have right now to officially announce I'm off the market. A bunch of high schools have been recruiting me, but I have chosen to be the assistant for Lafayette High School.
Hey,
join Butch here.
my assistant, baby.
So coming to a sideline near you.
Just got cleared by the athletic director. We were all nervous.
All nervous there for a second.
Congrats, though, Dobes. Well deserved.
Yeah, man. We're happy to have you.
Lafayette's
All right.
looking scary. All right, sorry, we got a topic get to in a second. Before I do, I left one team off that I did play for, and that is the greatest team ever assembled, Mizzou's club soccer team, 2013, 2014. Shout out Zach Godat, national champs, co-national champs. Thanks.
One more thing
Love
before
that.
we move on. Connor, who do you support?
Oh, that's right.
God.
Big Harry Maguire fan.
I just go wherever he goes.
Big, just love his forehead. Big Manchester United fan. Die hard, been since I was about 5 years old.
Long time.
We'll be back eventually. Who knows? 5 years, 10 years, maybe never, but we'll still be back sometime.
So I have a love-hate relationship with Manchester United. Before I was a Chelsea fan, I was more of a players guy, and I would pick one player and kind of follow them and grow with them and enjoy watching them play. And my favorite soccer player is Paul Pogba. Unfortunately, he is on Manchester United, so I will occasionally watch a game here and there of the Reds. But if they're ever facing Chelsea, I hope they lose. So
Gotta put it on the record. All right.
But Pogba's got to score a goal. Or
yeah. Pogba nets 2, we win 3-2.
No. It can't work like that.
That's how it goes.
Pogba has the worst game of his life. All right, let's hear from the Mecca.
So we kind of wanted to start these podcasts off with, like I said before, we have a group message with a lot of our guy friends called the Mecca of Banter, and we ask a question and what we should talk about today and what we should start it off with. And the first one we are going to start it off with is a question from Brian Flannery. Shout out Brian Flannery. He said, considering all the big name signings, what is considered a successful year for Chelsea, and how much work does Frank have out for him to get their new squad there? I laugh because he said Fat Frank, but I will not call Frank Lampard that. So yeah, that's the question, and I opened it up to you guys. What do you guys think?
Can I hear from Butch first on this?
Oh,
Yeah. And
Reggie.
this is pertaining to the year coming, or
yes, the year coming, all the transfers that they've had. What do you think is a bust for Chelsea?
Man, I honestly think if I'm looking on paper after what Chelsea's done in this transfer market, and me being a Liverpool fan, I'm actually pretty scared, because you look at some of these players coming in. You got a guy like Ziyech. He's lit up the Dutch league for 7 years, leads the league in assists, multiple double-digit goal seasons. Timo Werner's coming in, 28 goals in the Bundesliga last year for Leipzig. Unbelievable player. They just signed one of the best veterans in the game, Thiago Silva, this morning. I think he's, even at 35, he'll make a great impact for a year or two.
Leadership too.
And lastly, I think the other big signing is Ben Chilwell's really impressed for his 2 years at Leicester, and
Quality player.
He's fantastic. And Ashley Cole, I don't know if you guys know, but Ashley Cole actually told Abramovich and Lampard that they should sign him.
Mm.
And if you're getting a guy like Ashley Cole, Chelsea legend, coming after you, I think it's fantastic. But if they get Kai Havertz, I will be extremely, extremely nervous about how good they can truly be, because if you plug,
named 5 worldy players.
yeah,
We're doing well in this transfer
one
market.
team.
We're doing well.
if you plug those guys in, and you got Conte coming back, you got Kovacic, you got our boy CP, Christian Pulisic, shout out, man. It's just scary.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my outtake.
For great analysis, now give me the number. Where do they got to finish over?
I think it's a failure for Chelsea if they're not top 3.
I agree with that.
I think it's a
So
failure.
4 spots of bust.
I think 4 is a bust. I think if you're not,
I think 4 is a massive bust. For
Oh,
him.
yeah,
I think if you're not challenging for the
Insane.
title
That's
with that
exactly
team,
what I thought.
Yeah, I
too.
think they should be
Why
challenging.
is that?
you should
though?
challenge for the title with that team now. 100%.
I think
I just-
will
Are they that
give it-
separated from United, where it's just the top 3 are going to be their own little horse? I think so.
I think it might be.
Go
We're
on.
gonna
Go
see.
ahead,
We're
Dubs.
gonna see this year. I think that we're gonna see how great of a coach Frank Lampard is,
I agree with that.
because he's gonna bring in all these different players, a lot of them world class players, and he's gonna have to make them fit in a cohesive team. Think Liverpool is, battled and bruised. Like, they've done this before. They know what they're doing. They're not losing anybody. If anything, they might gain your boy, bring him over from Bayern.
Damn
I mean,
right
like,
about that.
Liverpool's still going to be there. But for me, it's like, can Frank Lampard build a team with the players he's got?
Agreed.
And I think that's going to be a question. But for me, it's like top 2. Like, I think that should be their aim realistically, is depending on who City signs, Liverpool's going to be Liverpool. But with this team on paper, you add Kai, top two or not, it's a bust for me.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I think kind of what Sean mentioned before with the whole, I think it's going to be a three team race for the title, and I think it's going to be very close. I think it's going to be, unless United comes out of some
left field
and
besides
signs.
Sancho.
And I don't even know if Sancho does it. I think you need a new center back, obviously.
We'll talk about us later. I don't want to get into it.
But I think it'll be a three team race to the title, and I don't want to say it's a bust if we don't win, because I think we should. I think with the team we have, the coach we have,
need a new goalie. Sorry, go ahead.
Kepa's
I think our signings.
I
think the signings that we have made, and Thiago Silva coming into our back line, and Chilwell coming to our back line, I don't think Kepa will be as crucial of a sore in our lineup as he was the previous year, if that makes sense.
I think when you look at the fact that all the attacking players Chelsea's added, but if you look at having Thiago Silva behind Conte, and how special that can really be.
Oh, my goodness.
Thiago Silva's leadership is unbelievable. I mean, look what he's done at PSG, captain of Brazil. With Conte in front of him, he was hurt at the end of the year, but with what Conte can do, they can be so good at the front and so good defensively too.
Who's the other center back?
That depends. I really like Christensen.
Me too.
I really like Christensen. I rate him.
City and Barca.
I like Christensen as well.
I rate him highly, but I don't think he's going to be the guy.
I want Aspie to come back. I know he just had a crazy injury. I want Reece James on the wing, and
Who's the other center back though?
My gut's telling me
Thiago and Azpilicueta.
Azpilicueta is a back four. You want him to be a center back with Thiago?
Yes.
Okay.
My gut's telling me Rudiger.
Yes, Rudiger, and
he starts for Germany. I mean,
That's
he
what I'm
starts
saying.
for Germany.
That is true.
He's got experience. I mean, depends on him and how him and Thiago will fit together. That could be another date. I mean,
I don't think
Rudiger's athletic.
I don't think he's the key. I don't think Rudiger will be in the German side for too much longer, and I also don't think that he'll be in like a championship-winning side in the Premier League.
That's
personally.
Fair.
And I think if Chelsea gets a goalie, I think they'll become the title favorite. As of right now, I think they have the tools to win the title. I don't think it's like a disappointment by any means if they don't win the title. For some reason, that third spot you said really hit for me. Like when we were thinking about this all the way today, I was like, man, there's no reason to get any less than third, but it's not that much difference in fourth. And I was like, shouldn't they be more than that for what they just did in the transfer window? But we haven't seen him yet.
The reason why
on the field, without seeing him on the field, I guess I'm gonna stick with third place.
Well, my thing is,
Timo Werner. Like, just think of the players that they're adding.
I was just about to say, my thing is, we just finished fourth and had
66 points, tied with us.
Exactly. We just finished fourth with probably our second team. I mean, besides four different guys now.
What do
you mean? No, that's true.
When did Lampard start coaching? Because I'm pretty sure his record from when he started was either second or first most points in the Premier League, like since his start date.
I believe it.
So he can coach.
I love Frank.
And
look what he's done.
The players that he's assembling are literally youthful players with abundance of energy that can press high. It's a group of players that all play very similarly. And I mean, I hate to say it, it's modeled after Klopp in my opinion, where in Dortmund he had a variety of attacking players that would pressure back line for 90 minutes. They had clinical link-up play and they were direct. And that's what I think, like they had like a box-to-box midfielder and everything. But I think that's what he's going for right now. He's getting players from the German league to even prove it.
I think what's more impressive is he has such little managerial experience, and look at the players that want to come play for him.
Exactly,
that speaks wonders for a guy like him.
And you also have to think Chelsea was on a transfer ban, so Frank did it with his academy team and all the youngsters that were coming through Chelsea. I'm just saying, I think
team. What do you even keep saying that?
Speaking of that,
what do you mean?
I've got a great question for you.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We're just regarding all of these transfers. There's one player in my mind who I've been thinking about the last few days, who really might miss out, and that's Mason Mount. If they sign Kai Havertz, how do you plug Mason Mount in? Because you've got
send him back to Derby County.
But in all honesty, a loan move might not be out of the books, because you got to think about this. You got Christian Pulisic. When he's back, he's going to play.
It's not the time in the career for Mount to come off the bench every game.
No, 100%. You're exactly right.
You're 100%.
You're exactly right.
I think he's fighting for a starting job.
I bet he'll want to do that. I don't think that's the wise move for him.
I don't think
Christian's the truth.
It's between Mount. It's between Mount and Kovacic.
But
no,
but they're not going to play.
They're not going to play.
They're not going to play Mount as a box to box guy.
It'll be Kai and Mount, and then Conte sitting.
Mount is going to get Frank Lampard's water. Like that's his role.
We'll see.
And what's crazy is I think Mason Mount is quality.
I think he's quality.
Good.
He is quality. I
think he's staying. I think the other center midfielders that like I think they're going to be on loan. They're the ones who are going to have trouble.
Jorginho, kick him out, dude.
He's gone. Barkley, I like Barkley, but I don't know if he's going to be able to stay. But I think Mason Mount is going to be.
He's too similar of a style player to Kai Havertz, to Ziyech, to Christian Pulisic, to like Ross Barkley. Obviously, he's going to hit the road, but like he's like those other players. He's like the playmaker that picks the ball up in the middle of the field and then likes to run at people, and that spot's taken. Like, it's not the deep line guy like Kovacic who can play with Conte back, who I don't even think they're going to do that. I think they're going to let Conte just sit in that hole, the diamond, like an inverted triangle, and let him play holding mid.
I could see it.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? Like, everyone does
exactly.
the two holding back now.
Yeah.
And then the two in front would be Kai and
Kovacic.
I think Kovacic
or Mount. That's where I'm going. I think it's going to be a battle between Kovacic and Mount to see who starts there. Ziyech on the right.
I feel like we're still
Werner
forgetting
up top.
someone.
Who knows?
Yeah,
I mean, regardless,
I
think, you know, it's a really crucial year for Mason Mount because he is young, but when you bring in a guy like Kai Havertz, who is just special, I think Mount's very good, but I don't think he's Kai Havertz special.
No, he's not.
And I think when you bring in a guy like him, it can motivate Mount, but at the same time, with a guy that's that young, it could also kill his confidence.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm excited to see that.
I agree with that. But I also think our depth this coming year is going to be absolutely insane.
That's why you should be challenging for a title.
I agree.
That Bayern-esque depth.
Exactly.
Oh, like I'm being like.
I agree.
Except for defense, which is just like non-existent.
Yes. You're not wrong there.
Super important.
You're not wrong there.
All right, Dubs, I gotta lay the gossip on me.
Hit me with it.
No, you gotta lay the gossip on me.
Oh, dude.
You gotta, because I think I know. Let me lay what I know on you.
That's my captain.
Let me lay what I know on you.
That's
'cause
my
I think
captain.
I have a little bit above the common knowledge on this.
Okay, so I'll put it. I'll dumb it down a little bit. I won't get into the specifics of the nationalities of what exactly happened.
No. 'Cause I want to know.
So
Because
allegedly, what I've read, I can name my
Take it,
sources
take
if
it.
you guys like to hear. But so, you know, obviously United's on break, just lost. Players went on vacation. You know, Jesse Lingard's in Mykonos,
Everyone.
exactly where Harry Maguire
it's in a
was.
different country.
Corona.
So Harry Maguire was in Mykonos with his brother and his sister. They were out at a bar. From what I have read, apparently there's two Albanians came up. One tried to inject his sister or drug his sister with something. Somebody came up, let Harry Maguire, their brother, know. So originally they hopped in an Uber, and they thought that the Uber was taking them to the hospital. The Uber actually took them to the police station. When they got to the police station, they got out of the car. Harry Maguire was, obviously he's intoxicated. This just happened to his sister. His story is that he got out of the car, started screaming at the police officers that needed help, trying to get these guys, tell them about where the guys were, who they were, what had happened. The police officers came back at Harry Maguire, were like, no. Harry Maguire went up, essentially shoved a police officer. Police officer tried to apprehend him. Harry Maguire said, "Do you know who I am? I'm the captain of Manchester United." Tried to kind of use who he was. So that's why you see he got the charge of bribery. And so Harry was essentially claiming that none of this was true, that he was doing it all to defend his sister, yada, yada, yada. So he did end up getting, I think it was charged with 21 months.
delayed sentence.
Delayed sentence of 21 months in prison or something like that.
He also claimed that when he said that he was the Man United captain, that they kicked him in the leg and said, "You're never going to play soccer
Yeah,
again."
so that's the part where he said the police officers looked at him, kicked him in the leg, and said, "Oh no, excuse me, the Albanians that were at the bar kicked him in the leg and said you'll never play soccer again." So it was one of those where it's like, it's not a good look, but then again, you put things in perspective. Like,
He's a target.
He's a target. People, and that's one of the things. You put yourself in those positions. You're a professional soccer player. You have millions of dollars.
Specifically him with the transfer.
Oh, specifically him. $80 million transfer. You can see what he's worth to the club, even though he's a walking cone. But you see what he's. If that's my sister, I'm not saying I wouldn't do some stupid shit too. But then again, I'm not the captain of Manchester United.
True.
I feel like that's a place where there's a double standard there, where it's like you put yourself in a position where you're on vacation. You got 2 weeks till the season, literally.
Yeah.
Sure, I get you got a little time off because of COVID things going on, but it's like, same time, you don't put yourself in that situation where you say anything like that to a cop or something like that, because now it's like, he tweeted out the other day, he's like, happy to get back with England, happy to get back with Man United. It's like, this isn't going away, dude.
Yeah.
The Greek, you're not just getting out of the things you did, things you said. It's messed up, very messed up what happened to his sister. Not saying that any human being wouldn't react the exact same way that he would.
Yep.
but not every human being is a captain of Man United.
Yeah. So what's next for Manchester United? Are you
Waiting for
him? Waiting for more facts? Are you
Well, it's one of those where obviously I think the club is going to support him.
Okay.
I think, obviously if he goes to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and he's like, this is what happened, I think Ole's going to believe him.
Okay.
I think he tells Woodward. I think he tells the board.
I think Ollie believes anyone says, but.
You could be right. Personally, if it was me, I say, yeah, he's guilty, send him to prison. Like, you know what? I lose an $80 million player, but he's fucking sucks anyway.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a good thing for you guys.
Like, it's one of those things where, I don't know. I support Harry, and I wish him the best. And, he played the most minutes out of any player in the entire Premier League, so it says something for him. We kept, I don't know, I think it was like 16 shutouts.
Yeah.
Like,
he's not as bad of a player as people make him out to be.
No, he's definitely not. He's definitely not
sure.
about of his player. But
Also,
you know what I think he is? I think he's a Leicester City player.
I just don't think he's an $80 million Man United player.
He's not $80 million. Well, when you look at Harry Maguire overall, like for England, what he did for England in the World Cup, like he was tremendous.
Yeah, he was. That's what got him the deal.
That's
Really?
that's what I'm saying. Is before he signed, it was him going to the World Cup, England making that run, and he being the anchor of that back line.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that's why when it came to it, and especially that transfer window, we had nothing.
Yeah.
We had to throw money at something. The board had to throw money at something to make it seem like
it didn't seem like a bad transfer at the time, except the number.
Oh, the number is bad.
The number was just
the number's bad.
Tremendously bad.
I think Harry Maguire belongs on the top 6 club. I don't think he's.
I think so too. Just for like 40 mil.
Yeah.
Max 30 probably.
20.
10. Keep going lower and lower.
I don't know. That's a super interesting situation, and I can't wait to see how it plays out, because what honestly could happen is we could be 2 weeks into the season, and something happens because they're doing a retrial, and if he gets found guilty,
it's still.
I also think I think it's crazy times, because since of all the COVID stuff that's happening, that normally, let's say this happens right after the season, he has a couple months to fight it, to get back into training, to do all that. But now, since the season was pushed back, it's 2 weeks. Season starts here soon. So now they have to really start figuring out what the heck they're going to do.
Well, using that, we should probably start talking about what we think about next season, what's going to happen. We talked about Chelsea and what would be a bust for them, but you going back to back or what?
For United here.
No.
For Liverpool going back to back?
Nah.
Here's my thing.
No shot.
Nah.
Okay. All right. Hold on.
Make your case. Make your case why they will.
I'll make my case right now. We're not going to lose a single player, and we're going to sign treble-winning Thiago, who's a top 3 midfielder in the world.
You saw what Wayne Rooney said, right? If Messi goes to
Case
City
closed.
and Thiago goes to Liverpool, that Thiago to Liverpool makes it a done deal, that Liverpool wins the league. It's a bigger signing.
That's
really?
Wayne Rooney came out and said that.
Wow.
You guys know.
I saw that.
crazy?
Wait. In the same series of quotes where he was
In the
talking
same
about
series.
Ronaldo,
This is a fact.
Ronaldo and
This
Messi.
is a fact.
Series of quotes.
Here's my thing. That is very true that
That's
Wayne did say
dumb.
that. But
Yeah, that's a dumb
That's
statement.
dumb.
we cannot.
Sorry, Butch, go ahead.
We cannot sit here and say and be oblivious to the fact that after watching what Thiago has done, he is a top 3 center mid.
I agree with you 100%. I don't think that's
100%.
arguable.
Top 2, in my opinion.
I think
it's KDB, Thiago.
he's up there
I
with,
agree.
obviously KDB is more complete and he's the number 1, but Thiago's not far off. So
He impressed me a lot.
So my thing is, if you bring in a guy like Thiago, you've got a midfield option, shall I say, of Ginny, Fabinho, Thiago, Hendo. You've got Keita, Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Genie leaves, right?
I think Gini goes
If
to Barca.
Gini leaves.
I think Gini goes, but that's another point.
Coleman wants him at Barca, but
If
Does he
Thiago
leave?
comes, Genie leaves.
he probably will.
It has to.
He's
Which
probably going to
it
feel
doesn't matter
threatened.
for you
yeah,
guys.
because I think
It's probably an upgrade.
I think Jenny's fantastic, but I would take Thiago. They're both 29.
Yeah, no, they're like the same age. Everyone thinks Genie's like 25. He's
So,
not.
and the thing is, like, we're not going to lose any of our front 3. We've got the same back line coming. We've got probably the best goalie in the Prem, and Allison.
I agree.
It's probably obviously Bayern just won the Champions League and won the treble, but I would put Liverpool up there with Bayern as the most complete front to back team in the world. And you bring a guy like Thiago in from Bayern, Bayern's going to lose a very big piece of their team.
That's going to hurt Bayern more than they
And
think.
Bayern looked incredibly dominant, but I mean, you're a fool if you say that they shouldn't have gone down 2-0 in their last 3 games. That still blows my mind that didn't happen. 2 whiff chances from Barca, 2 whiff chances from Lyon, 2 whiff chances from.
You're right.
Did they play in the final?
But let's
Jesus,
just bring
man.
this back to Thiago here. I think
Like,
to me, he's one of those players who, when you look at that Bayern team, he's not Lewandowski, he's not Gnabry, he's not scoring. But he's like that. I think without him,
engine.
they're not winning the Champions League.
I agree.
I think he's such an important piece that when you add a player like that to Liverpool, like that's why Wayne Rooney's point. Okay, it's a little far fetched.
Very
no,
far-fetched.
because Manchester City is a possession-based team, therefore overemphasizing Messi's use. In the final third, we're going to have so many chances
It's
for you
probably
to
a
run
little.
at
It's
people.
probably a little bit of banter from Rooney going at City too. You know what I mean? It's a little bit of that.
And
but
he was nice. He hyped Messi up too.
Yeah,
in the
he
same
hyped
clip.
Messi up, but I
Sorry,
think
go
it's
ahead.
one of those things where Thiago, when you plug him into that Liverpool team, not only are they already sound from the back, but it's like you add a player like that who can be a box-to-box guy, or he can be a number 6. He can sit in front of the back 4. He can be whatever you need him to be. Adds that a bit of versatility that, like, yeah, they had it, but they just got it even more.
Yeah.
They added that extra level to where, I'm sorry, but if you ask me, like I know Hendo's a huge piece, but Thiago fills that spot like instantly for me.
See, my thing is, I think Fabinho might be the axe.
After that banger last year, dude,
What do you think, Shawnee?
Who's your title choice?
with the team's currently where it is,
Yeah.
I think I would. I hate to say it, but I think I could see Liverpool doing it again, and that's strictly because City lost Sané. I think that's going to be a huge thing because they're going to have to rely so much on Sterling and their wide players. Who I trust Mahrez, but I really don't trust their strikers. Aguero's getting older. I don't think Gabriel Jesus is what he.
Gabriel Jesus is an interesting topic in himself. That dude misses chances a lot.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think he's that. I wouldn't rate him in my top 5 or 6 strikers in the Prem.
Could be. On his day, he is. That's for sure.
But like right
I don't
now, I
think he
can't.
is.
So if like for me, it's obviously right now. I think I would say with the current teams, I'd put it between City or Liverpool, like coin flip, with Chelsea, depending on how they start the season and how Frank can get
So
them going.
as of players right now, you're still.
I'm still
the way-
Liverpool City.
You're
coin flip.
but the way. Yeah. Okay.
Coin
That's what I
flip.
was gonna ask. Like,
I think it's.
You still need to see Chelsea play.
I need to see Chelsea on the field. On paper, they're up there.
On paper.
On paper, they're up there.
And the,
If I'm
the
a-
center back goalie thing definitely bothers me a lot. That's why I don't think they can win the title. But go ahead.
If I'm a betting man, I'm putting my money on Chelsea. That is a little biased, but I'm putting my money on Chelsea. The thing with me and Liverpool is, one, I mean, Sean will agree with this. What they did in the Premier League last year is probably the greatest thing in the history of the Prem, besides maybe the Invincibles going undefeated.
History of soccer.
In the history of soccer.
Not Invincibles. They had a better win streak.
I think
More points in this.
a lot of that was momentum and mindset and teams being scared to play them. Honestly,
You're just taking
I think
all
a
the
lot
credit
of
from Liverpool.
no. I still think they're an incredible team, but I think a decent amount of that is a lot of momentum, a lot of mindset, and all that.
Watford wasn't scared.
That's what I'm saying. Once the coronavirus hit, which sucks, if you look at their last 14 games, they are not a Premier League champion team. If you look at just that stretch of game,
I do
I'm
think
very.
I wonder
I'm
why.
very-
I wonder
I know.
why.
I'm not saying it's
Corona.
their fault.
Not Corona.
I'm not
because
saying it's their fault.
because they'd already won the title.
It wasn't secured, but yes, they had already won.
You have to
You're
get
right.
3 points out of your next 30. And then you're the Champions League winner and the Premier League winner.
I mean,
Show
in
up
my,
every
in my,
game.
in my
Oh,
opinion,
here's a pandemic.
In my opinion, if I'm a Liverpool fan, I would be pissed at that. If you're gonna just throw in the towel after winning the title,
I mean, I'm
that
not.
shows
I'm
nothing.
just.
I don't think
It's
they care.
a logic thing.
I don't
Not a
think they
Liverpool
care.
fan.
I think
thing.
the first.
Scousers fucking suck.
I think the
Like,
first.
Like the Liverpool fans, it's. I'm glad it's over. Like seriously, I'm glad it's
Yeah,
over.
I think-
Liverpool got it. Liverpool deserved the title.
Yes.
More than anybody. They're one of the best teams of all time. Let's move past it.
All right. Who's your?
Last
You got Chelsea. And
I have
then-
Chelsea winning.
and do the-
Liverpool
do your-
got their
do your
2 minutes,
4,
like-
or your 3.
I think it'll be Chelsea, City, Liverpool, United.
Okay.
I'll take 4 right now. I mean,
That's just my opinion.
I could see.
So now, did you say yours? I apologize.
I got 2 conditions. If Joe Gomez pulls his head out of his ass,
Takes that spot.
I don't think Liverpool can be contested. Virgil van Dijk is literally playing in a back 4 where he is the sole center back half the time. And it's wild to me, honestly.
And he's still that good.
And he's that good. But it can't happen now with these teams like City and Chelsea and these dynamic attackers. They'll eat them up. Like Liverpool's a dynamic team, which leaves them exposed. Joe Gomez is going to have to figure that shit out. If he figures that shit out, which I think he can, he kind of sketches me out, but he could pull it together. If he pulls it together, I got Liverpool being uncontested unless my other condition is met, in which that's Lionel Messi.
That's where I was going to bring this next conversation.
Let me bring this to both of you right now.
Okay.
I mean, you picked Liverpool. I mean, I guess we can open up to all of us. How much do we think the fact they won last year, they got that hump off their back? Like, in my opinion, there's gonna be a little bit of a slow jump. I mean, like
it goes back to the whole momentum and mindset.
Think about 2 years ago, how close Liverpool was to winning the title. Came off winning the Champions League. You know, I mean, the one thing they didn't get was the Premier League. This past year, they come out, they ball the entire season. Like, I'm not saying they don't have that motivation, but they just won their first one in how many years? Like, I feel like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that might.
Personally, I don't think it'll matter at all.
We'll see.
Okay.
I think it. I can't say which way they're going to go. I can guess. I think they may have a slow start.
I think they're going to finish third.
Well, yeah. I truly think they're going to have a slow start, but there's still in the back of my head.
You think Kepa is going to finish higher than Alisson?
Yes, I do. But what I was saying is I think
Kepa.
In the back of my head, if Liverpool comes out and plays what they did last year, which I don't think they will, then I think they could compete for the title.
It's just hard to replicate.
Yes, it's very hard to replicate.
Put together one of the best seasons in the history of soccer.
Agreed.
It's so hard to replicate.
You're just rolling. You're going through games and you're rolling.
When they were at their finest, it was literally due to just offensive pressure and finishing. Their players that they have on their team are literally built for that, so they will just continue to do it.
I hate Liverpool, and I couldn't stop watching Liverpool because of how good they were.
Okay, so Sean brings up a good point, and this is, of course, I wanted to get to this because this is all the talk of soccer in the past week. Messi leaving Barca. Which I think we can all agree that Man City's probably in the lead for where he would land if he were to leave Barca, unless anyone has anything else to say.
They're like plus 140. The next closest is like plus 440.
If he joins City, is it treble or bust?
No. Don't think so.
I had to think about it.
I don't think so.
You wrote that off too fast.
I know.
Because
I think so too.
I think it's though.
Okay.
See, they got fours. It's not perfect. They got Laporte.
Yeah,
one of the best center backs in the Prem.
And who else?
I think a lot changed.
I could rip off. Yeah.
Think about this.
Look at Virgil van Dijk with Gomez. You just made a point.
They got Andy Robertson and Trent Alexander.
They have Kyle Walker and whoever plays left back, Mendy,
and Benjamin Mendy.
I'm a better left back than Mendy.
No, I'm just saying it's not like a treble or bust for me. They have the offensive firepower, everything, but they're not complete. Like that defense isn't just like every week I come up, I'm scared to play Otamendi, and they might play Stones this week if they're not playing.
Who's their
Otamendi,
number 6?
right?
Who's going to play that guy that's going to sit in front of the back?
I don't think
four?
Rodri's that great.
Like Fernandinho did when they won the title.
I don't think Rodri's that great. I think he's a wannabe Casemiro, who I also don't think is that great.
But then taking the
I
dynamic,
don't think Casemiro's that good
take the dynamic. City's going to, from what we're reading, City's going to have to give up some pieces to bring in Messi. That's clearly going to change the dynamic of the team. Also, are they going to build a team around Messi? You can build a team around Kevin De Bruyne and Messi. Like there's
or as ESPN FC would say, Sterling.
Yeah.
We could just build our team around Sterling.
Build it around Sterling. But
laughing.
there's a lot of, and I'm not saying Pep can't do it, because if anybody can do it with Messi and Kevin De Bruyne and the names in that team, like Pep can do it.
Yeah.
Like Pep can make that team be one of the best in the world. But I think that there's some cop-outs there. When the players are leaving, like you're saying, the back four is suspect. I feel like Messi wants a Champions League. Like I feel like Messi's coming to City. He's coming to City because
what's Messi gonna do, Dobes?
I think Messi would leave because he thinks Barca can't win a Champions League, and he thinks City has that potential to go on and win a Champions League.
So you think he's leaving this year?
If he were to, that's why. But I personally think that the board.
I think if he had a choice he would. He's gone, but I don't think it's up to him right now.
I think so much this could be publicity.
It could be.
If he's gonna kick and scream, it's his choice. If he kicks and scream, they let him out.
But I don't see Messi kicking and screaming.
It's because I think they let him go if he wants to go. That's my point.
Really?
I think yes.
Business-wise, they would let him? Okay. Which I don't know.
I'm just curious to see. You don't think he's going. You think Lionel will be in blue.
I'm playing the dynamic where if he were to go, how it would look, but I do not think he's going to leave.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. We were
Yeah.
talking about it earlier, and I was like,
No, I'm playing the dynamic where how they would look if he goes to City, but I still don't think he's going to leave.
all right,
Personally, I want him to.
We got a guy at this table who's lived in Spain. He's followed Barcelona and Messi his whole goddamn life. Come on, what do you got? Where's Messi going? Fabrizio Bujart.
Here's shout out to the man. My honest gut, guys, is my heart wants me to have him play his career in the club that made him who he is. But my gut is telling me he's gone, and he's going to City. And here's why. I've read multiple sources over the last 3 days that he's called Pep Guardiola multiple times and already spoken with him about basically building a new project with Messi for the next 3 years. Number 2, Messi hates the Barcelona board. He hates Bartomeu. Bartomeu apparently said, I'll step down if Messi stays. I think that's publicity. I think he has no intent to step down. He wants to make it look like Messi's the bad guy. The board wants to make it look like Messi's the bad guy.
Crazy.
It's so messed up.
And
What he's done.
It's horrible.
They're both not angels in this.
They're both not angels, but I think
agree.
Bartomeu is the main reason why Barcelona has been shite
Yeah,
for
you could
2-3
definitely
years.
argue that.
You're talking about a team besides losing Neymar and maybe an Iniesta, an old Iniesta, okay, that won the treble in 14-15. It's almost the same team. Almost the same team.
Is that the problem, though?
Add a couple more years.
And you
on
add
their
it-
Yeah, I was
legs,
gonna
but
say add a couple more years.
Add a couple more
PK
years.
is not PK.
They added Griezmann, they
I
added him.
understand, but you still got quality like Suarez. You brought in
I mean,
Frankie de Jong.
no. No one can argue with what he just said. Take me back to what we said before the Champions League when I was talking about what was going to happen. I go, you're telling me that lineup on the field right now is going to go out there and play sorry and lose, and you go, yeah, they are.
That's true.
It doesn't matter. That was not Barcelona. Like that was
not even close to what we've seen.
They have on paper they looked great this year, but they were absolute shite, and it showed against Bayern. And that's what I was trying to say.
The core of their club is broken.
Their board is the reason why they're in this state. And now, ever since Messi has decided to say he wants to leave, they've said Suarez is on the market.
Yeah,
PK is
yeah.
on the market. Vidal. They're going to send all these, I guess, out of their prime, former elite footballers on the market. And they're going to make Messi the bad guy and say, basically, Messi's the reason why we have to do all this. Well,
Why we had to rebuild.
Messi wants to leave. Okay. We'll send you. But Bartomeu was like, oh, I'm not going to step down. Yeah. And then he comes out 2 days later and says, I'll step down if Messi stays. I'll do it for the club.
He's
full of shit. He's full of shit. He's not going to step down.
Yep.
He's not going to step down.
I got Butch fired up.
So
Aguero removed 10 from his Instagram bio.
Okay, I was waiting for someone to say
So
that.
next question, when do you think it's going to happen?
Is he going? This next year in the Prem, are we going to see?
I think you got
Yes.
2 weeks.
City.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I think.
I think he stays at Barcelona.
If it were to happen, when do you guys think it would realistically happen? Because you have to think about
It
this.
would have
Soon.
to happen like the next week.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
soon.
saying. Like it's
Next
got to
couple
happen
days.
next. Like
I think it will.
I
I've
think we're
heard
just gonna check Twitter and it's like bomb drop.
It's gonna be right now.
You're just gonna say, "Here we go."
honestly, guys, I read something today that Manchester City has already called Messi's father, who's his agent, and they've agreed personal terms, which means they've agreed wage
believe
bill, they've agreed his wages, and the length of his contract.
There's
If that's
no
true, they're just waiting on the payment.
Barca.
The payment.
No, they're waiting
clause.
on Barca
Barca to either accept the deal.
to let him go for free.
Exactly.
So
and
it's-
Messi wants to go for free. He says,
That's the block, though. It's Barca.
I agree.
Yeah.
Barca's the
Do you think
block.
City
and
pays
Barca's
the
the problem.
Personal
money?
terms could come.
Think of the
Personal terms is the
unprecedented
easy part.
times,
Is
though.
basically
I've
my
done
point.
so much for you. I get to leave for free.
But it is a big.
Yeah.
It's a big.
Like-
It's a big show, though. From like to say like
big show.
Sorry, to say for Messi to be like, hey, I've just agreed to personal terms. Like I'm out you.
Yeah,
Like
big
that's
show.
a big deal.
Yeah.
It is.
I just think, guys, like as we said, we've been texting in the chat, and I think I brought this up a few days ago, but like, if Barca really does pin this on Lionel Messi, that's the most criminal thing any
think
club
you-
has ever done to a player of that magnitude,
I don't even think
Ever.
you can believe
Well, there's
it.
no other
You
player
can't
at that
believe
magnitude.
ever. If you're pinning it on this guy who's given you all the success you've had the last 20 years, are you kidding me? This guy is.
No, I completely agree.
He's brought you to the absolute promised land. He's got 4 Champions Leagues. He's got 10 La Ligas. I mean, And he's been the pinnacle guy in every single team of those seasons.
Yeah. No doubt.
So how could you?
We're all with you.
Yeah, I just think I don't know. I just think Bartomeu's.
So now let's say City gets Messi. This is what I was thinking with. Let's say they have to pay that fee. Let's say they have to pay the 750. Is that what it is? 750 million.
700 million.
They won't.
700 million. Let's just say they have to. And this goes to my college major of sports business. I don't think it's necessarily that bad of a
decision they made.
That bad of a deal.
Right?
Exactly. The jersey sales, the media, the exposure, it's going to be the biggest transfer in soccer history.
Sports.
In sports history.
sports.
I agree.
Yeah.
Anything.
I agree. I didn't even want to go that
sport.
far, but I mean, I will gladly go that far.
Anything.
I mean, and of course the coronavirus sucks because of ticket sales, but like when they come back and Messi's still on City, their ticket sales are going to skyrocket. The TV deals that the Premier League's going to about to get is going to be insane. All of that they're going to make their money back so quickly.
I hate City. It's the same thing I said. Like, I'll watch City every single week.
Exactly. You have to.
No, it's like you have to, because it's one of those where most Americans don't get La Liga.
Yep.
Or don't
I don't have Bean Sports.
Yeah, nobody has BN Sports here, and like there's the fact that this could expose a lot more Americans to just exactly what Messi is. I think would be incredible.
It's going to be huge.
It'd be incredible. Like I really my heart wants him to stay at Barcelona, but at the same time, it's like seeing him at City would be pretty cool.
Yeah, every week we get to watch him every week instead of just Champions League.
Let's say Messi goes to City. I want to ask you guys this: what do you think his first year numbers would be? So he goes to City next week, hypothetical. What do you think he puts up statistically in his first year?
20 and 15.
I think he balls out.
2020.
20 and 15.
I think 2020.
2020.
Well, okay, we have to think about his
record?
team. We have to think about his team.
Is that the Premier League record for
Lionel
points?
Messi.
So he'll be
with all the pressure in the world.
Aguero and KDB will be on his team. So you have to think they're going to take some of those goals and
Who do you think's
assists.
hitting the pens?
Oh,
Messi. 100%.
You don't even need him.
He's hitting the pens.
He's
Messi's hitting the pens.
He's hitting every.
I mean, I don't know.
Messi says, "I want this free kick from the opposite side." He's getting it.
You're right. I
Kevin
agree
De
with
Bruyne
that.
would be like, "Yes, sir."
It's not. It's not Man United though. They don't get 12 pins a year. They
don't know.
get
Next year they
5.
The way Sterling dives, are you kidding me?
Sterling's.
Him and Michael Phelps have so much in common. Right there.
I don't know.
That's
I
hilarious.
think 2020 is the record, or past it.
That's on.
No,
Reese.
didn't KDB
No.
just get?
He got 20 assists and
KDB
12
got
goals.
19.
Oh, that's what I was saying.
Henry
What
has the
record are
record.
you saying?
Like that'd be the most points ever. Just
Oh,
goals and
points.
assists combined.
Okay, points. Okay.
But I mean, like,
It's Messi.
Hey.
It's Messi on the City.
Nobody here can look at me and say it's not possible for him. Like,
Let's say it's not possible. 2015.
I think if he does that, though,
2020 is like-
City's winning the title.
Oh,
Like,
they're winning
he
the
does-
title,
Yeah.
hands down, in my opinion. I think how Sean was saying that like Liverpool's gonna run away with it. I think City would run away with it
But you know what would be awesome?
if Messi joined.
Seeing Liverpool City twice a year. Oh, wait. Maybe throw in an FA Cups, like splash that in there somewhere. Like, come on.
Little splish.
Come on. That'd be unbelievable.
It's going.
I'm
I hope
excited
it
for this
happens.
year's Prem.
I hope it happens.
I'm excited for this year's
It's an
Prem.
exciting prospect, man.
I got one thing that me and Doze were talking about earlier. We were watching some film, and my boy Don Bele came up, non-Don Bele, and brought up Mourinho,
Jose.
Oh gosh.
brought up Hazard.
Oh gosh.
So I got two things I want to talk about, starting with Hazard. Where do you rate Hazard on the first day of the season starting? It's about to start. It's at the beginning of next season. Where do you rank him?
Top players or top player in his position?
Just top players.
Okay.
This is so tough.
I know that.
I'll start.
All right.
Are we going to go current form? Or are we going
I'm saying you're a symbol in a team.
Fully healthy.
Fully healthy.
fully healthy? So this is
No leg breaking. He's in shape.
You're right.
Drop 20 pounds.
No leg break and he's in shape. I will say, my heart wants to give Hazard the benefit of the doubt
Same.
because
Could
of
hurt
what
you.
he did. Because of what he did in England, that season he had at Chelsea was absolutely special. And I think when you look at players coming over from Spain to England, there's always a transition period. I think it could be the same for him in Spain. Put his injury into account. I mean, he won't have a full off season like he typically would. He won't have the two months to get himself. But I think that he knows this is kind of a season where he has to prove himself to everybody because he's received more criticism than a player like him should.
You know how
me,
it can be.
From all of us.
As far as fan bases go, they're about the worst.
They're the worst.
They're about the worst.
They were hating
Stand
on
outside
Cristiano
your
Ronaldo.
room and fucking scream at your window when you're
best
trying to
player in the
sleep
club's
kind of
history.
the best
shit.
player in the club's history.
Trying to
They were
sleep,
hating
they'll
on him.
scream outside your window
Yeah.
kind of shit.
I mean, just
So
think
I
of
think-
the Mecca. The Mecca has been talking trash on Hazard the past week, and that's 20 guys. Think of
I
an
really
entire country.
think Hazard. I mean, he can't get much worse than he was compared to what he was this past season. He let us all down. But I think this year he's really going to show out. He didn't play much, but I think
He played all right.
this year I think he's going to
What
show
number
out.
though? What number?
Goals?
Top player. Where is he at
Oh,
on
he's
your
not.
list?
He's not in my top 10.
Interesting.
Current form.
Well,
no,
we're
not my
saying
top 10.
healthy, fully healthy, everything.
Still not my top 10.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of special players
I-
out there
I-
right now.
Now, before, just real quick, you don't have to summarize it or anything, but where was he before he left to Real?
Oh, for me, he was up there with top 3 players in the prime, top 3 or 4 players in the prime.
He won PFA.
That's what I'm saying. You win that award, it says something. For me, he was definitely top 3 or 4 players in the prime, and I'd put him. He was in my top 10 players in the world easily. I'd put him not top 5, but definitely chopping at
Not
the
top
bit to
five?
get in the top 5.
Who would you have above him before he left? Messi, Ronaldo,
Kevin De Bruyne,
Kevin De Bruyne,
Messi, Ronaldo.
Neymar.
get bent.
I'm just throwing names.
No,
Virgil.
Neymar's there. Virgil's.
Put Neymar above Hazard before they left. That's not, I'm not saying that's crazy by any means.
I don't think it's-
I'm just trying- what year?
I don't
What year
think
did he leave?
It was 2 years ago.
Last summer.
17.
Last summer.
Hazard left Chelsea in the summer of 19.
Oh, Hazard? Yeah.
Neymar left.
I think for me, it's like the top 3, no matter what order you'd ever pick them in. You're a Ronaldo fan, you're a Messi fan. Top 3 for me is Messi, Ronaldo, either order. Kevin De Bruyne is third for me. I don't care what anybody says. Lewandowski, put him anywhere you want him to, especially after this season. He could go up as far as 1. He can go anywhere, but Lewandowski's there. This season, Neymar's 5. But
Throws it.
who you want? Ings?
Dings!
Look at me toss
He's
him
a
in.
bagsman. He's a bagsman.
Man,
Okay, moving
Ozil?
on though.
Neymar running up stats in the French league, mate.
That does for
Aight.
me. Yeah.
Butch, where you have Hazard at? What number?
Fully healthy. I honestly think that I'm with Dobes. I think he's out of my top 10 now.
And where was he before he left?
Before he left, he was in my top 10.
Where at?
He's probably sitting between like 6 and 9, somewhere around there.
Interesting.
And give or take, it could fluctuate based off preference, but I mean, he's definitely between the 6 and 9 before he goes to Madrid, and now he's out of my top 10. I think there's players who actually, you know what? I'm gonna say this. I want to see how he responds. Sean had a great point. It's like this is a huge season for Hazard because this is a huge season for him because he has to live up to that $100 million transfer fee that, as Sean
It's a big
said,
one.
Real Madrid fans will hold against him because they are ruthless. If he comes out and he's like the same player as he was this year, injury prone, out of shape, inconsistent, he's just gonna kind of fall off.
What was his transfer fee?
100 million.
100
Yeah,
million.
I was gonna say 110, but
100 million at
I
Real
can look it
Madrid.
up. I can
Like
look it up.
after this past season, I wouldn't say warranted some criticism because the Madrid fans are going to criticize
bro,
anybody
it's
that doesn't
just injury.
score.
Like other than his injury, he's literally played fine.
I agree.
It was 100 euros, so 113 million.
But I don't think he's.
Dollars.
a lot of money.
But
a lot of money.
Here's the thing that's been going on, and we can go into this with Hazard. People have been saying he's overrated, and I don't see how he's overrated.
Yeah.
Because even if he's a guy who was off the scoring sheet a lot this year, what that guy does,
Oh, every time he touches the ball.
Pulls
he's
the
magic.
defense out of sorts.
He's
Yes.
got magic
Would
in
scare the
his
shit
feet.
out of me.
You
as a
beat 3
defender.
defenders, and the 4th one has to come. Take a picture of where that defense looks like from over the top. Their defense is in
Exactly.
shambles.
My thing is, I don't think he's nowhere near overrated. I think he's phenomenal. I just think he needs to kind of, almost in a sense,
Remind everyone.
find his form and
Agreed.
reprove himself to the Madrid faithful and say, look, they paid this money for me. I'm going to help you win trophies, and I'm going to be the guy for you.
I love a comeback story. Like, I love it.
Exactly.
Seriously. Like,
I-
I love
I-
a
me
comeback
too.
story.
He's in.
Let me go before you.
Okay, you go. All you.
I think people were too quick to say his downfall was a downfall. I think the sample size we have of him being not good on the soccer field is way too small to say that he's bad. I don't put him in my top 10 right now because I value defenders a lot. And you guys know
More than anybody I know,
You guys
yeah.
know that
Which is a good thing.
And I'm on Sean's side.
I respect it.
I'm 100% on
So
Sean's
I
side.
wish that he would have been in yours, because if I were doing no defenders, he would be. If I got to pick from a pool of 10 attackers today, he'd be in my 10 attackers. No doubt about it for me.
I agree.
Before he left, he was the 3. I would have picked him over Neymar. He's way more disciplined.
Yeah, I think before when he was at Chelsea, I think he's 4 for me.
Yeah,
Let me put on the record before you were a fan.
Yes, you're correct. You're 100% correct.
You think he was above a guy like? So you got Messi, Ronaldo, De Bruyne in there. You think he's above a guy like Lewandowski, who's
that
more
year?
elite?
Yes.
When he left
that
Chelsea?
year, yes.
Yeah, the
That year,
years
yes.
are different. Lewa wasn't Lewa that he was this year.
But
Leva's
now,
been bagging 30 a year for
Now?
5 years.
now 10.
Hazard's dribbling stats since 2014, 2015. The most successful take-ons completed. Hazard, or we'll go from reverse. Wilfried Zaha 311, Messi 363, Neymar 366, Hazard 388.
Can I ask you? Let me put a question that I think is a very fair question. You're starting a team today. Griezmann or Hazard?
Hazard, not even a question. I think
Current form.
I don't rate
Griezmann's
Griezmann as
form is
high.
not that high.
I don't rate Griezmann as high as people do.
I mean, like I think Griezmann had
Griezmann's so good.
Griezmann and like Hazard had very comparable seasons.
Had the bulk of proof and just watching them play alone, Hazard's better. You watch for 90 minutes and you say, I'm going to watch Hazard, I'm going to watch Griezmann. I'm going with Hazard 100% of the time.
I want to see who Butch has to pick.
Griezmann.
Yeah, this is a hard one.
I was like, yeah.
Antoine will bag you goals. Antoine will bag you goals.
Yeah, he will.
If he's not on like Hazard, if he's not in his mood and he can't beat 3 or 4 players at a time, he might not get you something. Griezmann can poach you a goal and get him behind. He'll make runs in behind. Hazard's better. Go ahead.
For my Dove's laughing. For my thing, everybody. For those of you listening, I love Griezmann. I love him more than a lot of people in our chat do, because I don't think he's overrated. I think he's very, very useful.
Underappreciated.
He's having a tough time.
I think he's underappreciated.
Same.
But I will be true and honest with you all. If I had to pick, I will choose Hazard, because I think
That hurts him so much.
it hurts me. It hurts my
so
soul.
much.
It hurts my soul because I think Griezmann, if you look at what he's done for France, the last 2 big tournaments, he's been absolutely pivotal in their run to the Euro final. Got the silver ball, I believe.
Yeah, he played really well.
He played phenomenal. Goes to the World Cup, 5
Best
goals,
player in
3
that World
assists
Cup.
in 7 games.
Libya.
5 goals, 3 assists in 7 games
false.
at the World Cup. I don't think I think there's players out there who've probably played 5 World Cups that don't even have those stats after 5 World Cups. And he did it in 1.
I think this is a different separate point off Griezmann. I think he may thrive if Messi's not there.
He might.
Oh, 100%.
He might, 100%.
I think
He needs space, bro.
I think so too, because that team is built around Messi being successful and running the show.
Teams pack it in so much against Barcelona. It's not just Messi. It's Barcelona.
It's
Like,
just-
you know what
yeah,
I mean. He
it's
needs
just
to
their
get him
style.
behind.
Griezmann leads.
so
you
quick.
let him
Griezmann-
get him behind twice. You stretch their defense, then you let him play in front. But if they're just all behind him for 90 minutes,
Messi
Griezmann
leaving
plays-
I think would benefit him greatly.
Yeah, Griezmann plays better when he has the ball more often, which will happen if Messi leaves.
all right. Let me. I think you had one, but I said I had 2
ahead.
questions. We were talking
Go
about non-Dombele. I can say it so well. Dombele usually, but
Crushed it earlier.
I
dude.
know. I want to talk about who's your most underrated player right now. Personal opinion, just preference, because I'm going to go back and watch him.
Who's yours? You start.
I
You're
think
putting us on the spot
I think
here.
mine's got to be Ndombele. The way that it was talked about in the group made me see there was just a poly perception. I kind of thought it was like a one-off, like Jose Mourinho doesn't like him and like people think he needs to leave. It's just I kind of thought it was like, oh, it's a weird situation. He's a great player. Now I'm kind of starting to get the impression people don't really think he's that great. Like people don't know if he should even be there. People don't know where he should play. Barcelona's chomping at the bit to get Ndombele. So
Yeah,
they get it, but apparently other people don't get it.
he should be an everyday player.
And my problem is, it's the reason I bring this up while we're in front of Mr. Dietrich over there, is because it reminds me of another player that played for Tottenham Hotspurs. There's a mighty big fan from Mr. Dietrich, and that's Moussa Dembele.
Oh, what a player.
Another guy that was just putting in shifts left and right.
What a player.
He's got great skills. He can score your goals. He'd put 90 minutes in, he'd tackle. And what did the players say about him, Dubs?
You read quotes from. I was telling Sean about this. You read quotes from anybody that's ever played with him. They said they're one of the best. He's one of the best players I've ever seen.
Really?
Literally.
Tactical.
Could do stuff that,
Wow.
and I'm like, that Messi could do, the stuff they've never seen before that he could do.
Tottenham let him go with a wash.
I was just researching him, researching for the podcast, and I was looking at highlights of him, and you look up quotes about the players that he's played with and like the stuff he does in training. It makes it so sad that he's in China right now.
Mm-hmm. And Spurs.
Because I had no idea. Like Spurs just let him go.
See what Harry Winks has.
Didn't we say I know I don't have any beer left, but we'll drink every time we talk shit on Tottenham.
Yes.
Cheers.
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 Andy Hoover. Shout out
cheers,
Andy
you.
Hoover.
But my point of that basically is being they let Dembele go out the door. They're about to let Ndombele go out. Ndombele go out the door like Ndombele. There we go. But they're about to let him go out the door with the same way. And I think he's the same level of impactful player, if not better. And he ain't going to China. We're about to watch it, and it's going to bite them in the ass.
I think so too. I think you're right.
All right, you ready for
Hoover
mine?
agrees with me, by the way. Cheers.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mine may be a hot take, and I think
Hot
this
take.
is
Tafey's hot take.
this is just
Been waiting.
this is just based off of 3 games I watched him play for France. I think Guendouzi is better than what people think.
Okay, we're gonna need to get a metric on this.
I can't.
Guendouzi or Ross Barkley.
Playing tomorrow or having on my team for 3 years?
Ross Barkley.
Ross Barkley playing tomorrow.
Ross Barkley.
Guendouzi for 3 years. I'm
every
taking
day and
Guendouzi.
twice on Sundays.
I know we talk about the eye test and the Mecca
So
a lot.
you think he's around Barkley's level though?
Yes.
So that's when you say underrated,
Yes.
you say that you think people rate him
People think he should be
Below
playing
Barkley.
for Arsenal, and Arsenal's in 8th. Finished 8th.
10th, right?
No, they finished ninth.
Ninth.
8th.
No, they finished
You want me-
ninth.
you want me to pull it up?
They finished ninth.
Guendouzi is uncoachable.
See,
I've read reports from multiple sources that he is uncoachable. He's got a shit attitude. He doesn't listen. Look at what he did when he got sent off.
I was gonna say he's good for a red card every 5 games.
Did you have to read anything to know that he
You
was
can see
uncoachable?
his actions. Look at his
First game
demeanor.
he stepped on the field. He gets beat by a guy, someone takes the ball away, fouls him. If he loses the ball, he'll go down, whether he was fouled or not, and he'll yell at the ref whether he got fouled or not. It's the worst trait in soccer. You yell at the ref when you dive, saying Draymond Green
hair.
looking ass. Like,
It's
I
the
can't,
hair.
bro.
It's the hair. I mean, look at him and David Luiz. Both shite. It's the hair. It's the hair.
Arsenal finished 8th.
So
Just
Nick,
just a
I
fact.
mean,
No.
it just shows how irrelevant they are.
No, I
None
agree.
of us
I agree.
know what they
I'm just
finished.
saying.
Nick, let me
Say.
ask you, what about Guendouzi makes you think he's underappreciated?
I'm telling you, I
2
watched
points off 11th.
just the way you guys
2
were talking
teams
about him
tied.
right here.
2 points off 11th.
I watched.
Go
There was
Gunners.
in the Euros. He played. I'm pretty sure he started 2 of the group games and then 1 of the knockouts.
The Euros, they played like shit, right? Or no, the Euros,
France, they went to the
won.
final.
Euros,
They went to the
won.
finals.
Yeah,
Or no, Portugal.
They lost
They
to
lost
Portugal.
to Portugal.
Yeah.
They lost to
And in those 3
Ronaldo-less
games,
Portugal.
he was with Pogba and Conte, and I thoroughly enjoyed watching those 3 play.
Oh, I could look good for 3 games for France.
I'm just saying, and this is purely based off eye test. I'm just saying, in those 3 games, I was
look up
thinking
his
in my
minutes?
head, what?
Look up his minutes.
I
in
will.
that.
In those 3 games, in my head, I was like, wow, this kid's pretty good.
I thought they played Sissoko in the midfield for some reason. And
I mean-
Matuidi too, but go ahead.
Yes, they did.
Here's the thing with Guendouzi. I think he's a Premier League player. I think he's got quality, but like the stuff that happens when he's not, I mean, the stuff that happens off the ball for me is
Isn't
too
worth
much.
his-
It's
What
not
year
worth
was
it.
that?
It's not like he's a game changer that, you know, he can get a red card every 4 games and it'd be okay. Like his attitude, the way he acts,
He's no Sergio Ramos. It just ain't worth it.
Arteta's not going to put up with it. And I fully believe he's
We
not.
got to get to that.
Yeah, Arteta's not going to put up with a player like that. I think Arteta knows what he's building. I think, you know, I respect the fact that, you know, you like Guendouzi because he's, you know, French, whatever. But I think the thing with him is his attitude is what changes him as a player. Like if he didn't have an attitude, I think he could have some serious quality
His
about
attitude kind of helps him. I feel like sometimes when he plays with that edge, he's beating.
him. A little
people
bit,
and
yeah.
shit.
There's
What year was that
There's
Euros?
definitely
16.
There's definitely a difference between edge
No, I know.
and too
I'm
much.
with you. I'm with you.
yeah,
100%.
yeah, and too much.
All right, who's your?
And I'll end it. Barcelona were in talks of getting him. That's all I'm going to say. Kind of similar to what you were saying with Ndombele. I can't pronounce his name correctly.
that was good though. They were going to get him on a free transfer. Was what they were asking for.
I know. I agree.
well.
I'm just saying they were interested in him. and we can move on. Now we can go to Butch.
I'm not interested anymore, promise.
In my opinion, the most underappreciated player, for me, he should be playing at a top at least 6 club in the world is Memphis Depay.
Interesting.
Well, he got a shot, so defend yourself.
Okay, he got a shot, but look at what he's done since.
But Louis van Gaal. So
It was an easy rebound.
Look at what he's done since.
Louis van Gaal was his coach at United.
He played for a shite manager at United. He is a false 9, absolute pivotal piece of the Netherlands national team.
Oh, he can spin in behind and just
he
fuck
is
your day up.
so good. I think I mean, I've spoken to Bogey about this many times because he's a guy that comes up when we talk. I think Depay is truly I think he's a top talent. He's got look at how he plays. He's so strong.
He's got everything.
He's got
left,
the complete
right foot,
package.
both feet.
He scored a hat trick today. First game of the new French league. It started today. He scored a hat trick. I know it's
He's just having fun
Man
with
is
it.
unbelievable.
I mean, he's a guy who you put him at a team like maybe AC Milan. I think he can take Milan back to where they were just with him signing.
I hope so, bro.
I would love to see Milan go back.
He could vouch for me. I was so high on the Memphis Depay train. I thought he was going to go to Man
I
U
was
literally shit
so
on the
excited.
I love
Premier
him.
League.
When
he
I
signed
thought
for
I
United,
thought he was
I
going to
thought we were-
shit on the Premier League.
No, not when he signed for United. When he signed for United and they gave him the number 7.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I was like, oh, he's let's go.
And he
Like,
didn't
world
play,
beater.
He didn't play horrible. He just played. He played
played-
below his level.
Played below a number 7 at Man United's at.
Yes, he played below his own level. Played below his own level, and they ate him up.
I think he would.
And you guys
thrive.
ate him up. You drove him out.
roasted him.
Yeah, he ate him
I
up.
think-
He turned into Harry
probably look at
Maguire.
Connor
He's a
Sid-
shitter.
You,
Get him out.
you look at Connor Sidobri's Twitter. There's for sure. So I know Depay sucks.
I think right now, if you stick Depay in United's 11, I think they are unbelievable.
I agree.
Just bringing Depay.
Interesting.
I mean, he doesn't really change much for me. He's kind of just similar.
I think
to
he
the-
does.
He's similar to the strengths they have. It increases it.
I think you can play him
Is he a center back?
as a what?
Can he whip in crosses from the right? He can.
He can do a lot,
But he
man.
can't play center back.
Okay, you're
I'm
right.
talking about improving United. They got some good wingers. That's all I'm saying.
United-
Does he make them better? Yeah, but does he
makes
play
them-
center back
he
for
makes
us?
them
We
lot
are
better.
a Ferrari
Yeah.
up front and a Fiat.
Yeah, bro.
100%.
Toyota.
Fiat owns Ferrari.
Camry, like,
Fiat owns Ferrari,
That is
bro.
true.
you know what? Well, still.
All right, let's go to Doe.
Yeah, we got to wrap
I
this
like
up.
your
Going.
underappreciated
All
player.
right, I'll give mine, and I think that you guys are all going to be able to agree. And I think he's world class, but I think he's more underappreciated than anybody in the world is Angel Di Maria.
Oh baby, what a player!
I think that the level that he's been at, the places he's played, he's won everywhere. I mean, he may not have the stats to back it up. He may not have the stats to accurately back it up, but I think what that man brings to a single we saw it with PSG this year. What he brings to a front three of him and of Mbappe and Neymar, and he can still be as important to that team, in my opinion.
Game breaker. Yeah.
Game breaker. He's just as important to that PSG team as Neymar and Mbappe.
0-0 in the 90th the whole game. They could play it perfect. He could beat 3 people.
He's going to take that touch. He's going to whip in a beautiful ball with his left
That
foot.
back post curler.
That back post. He's going to cut it back. He's going to whip that ball in. And I think what he did, I mean, I'm even saying that it didn't pan out at United. But what he did from Real Madrid, he came to United. Trust me, he still had some great assists and scored some special goals at United.
It's one of those things where it's like he didn't play horrible.
He didn't play horrible.
He didn't play
Di
up to
Maria.
his level.
But if you look
You
at the
guys
fact that
ate him up.
with Argentina, he plays with Messi, the things he's done for Argentina, the things he's done for PSG, the things he's done for Real Madrid, he gets respect, but I think he deserves a lot more than he does
Okay,
because of the places
what do you
he's
think
played.
his ranking is inside the top 10 of attackers? If you got a pool of attackers and you could set up your team and I could start naming people in front of him that I would take, how far do you think he'd go?
How about wingers? Because if we're there's so many.
If I'm going strictly wingers,
Strictly wingers,
I would put
he's
Di Maria in my top 10.
yeah,
Strictly wingers in your top 10, you're thinking that's
100%.
You're thinking that's
Interesting.
you're thinking that's underappreciated?
Think of how many great wingers there are.
You're thinking that's underappreciated? I don't think that's underappreciated at all. If you're saying that's where Di Maria is, which is where I think it is, and that's where I think he is.
Well, see, I think he brings up a good point because he wouldn't be in my top 10.
Because I think it's one of those
For
things.
wingers? Top 10 for wingers.
But think about this. How much, when you talk about world-class players, how much do you hear about people talk about Di Maria? Unless you know soccer. You talk about your Neymars.
That's
you talk
so
about your
true.
Mbappes.
Okay,
You talk
if you
about
think so, I don't think he's underrated.
you talk
personally.
about your Griezmanns. You talk about.
I think he's the 9-10 spot on a winger. I think he's like in a good system where he can flourish, and if he's in his bag, which he can be, not United most of the time. So I think he's right at his level.
I think he's one of those players that I think it's so, you know what you're going to get with him.
Yeah.
You know, there's
he's like a Mueller. I always say
no.
He's like a Mueller.
There's wing-
Not similar. I'm just saying
anyone
the consistencies.
to the
The
GOAT.
consistency.
He's not as
just to say,
consistent.
Mueller it was between Di Maria and Mueller for my most underrated.
Yeah,
he was
that's a
up
good
there. But for me, Di Maria is one of those players that you know if he comes on for PSG, you know you're gonna get threats to goal. He has the ability to whip in that cross. You know somebody's gonna work their ass off.
Yeah.
Like those are two things Di Maria's brought everywhere he's been.
You taking Greenwood or Di Maria?
Come on, I'm taking.
That's
Greenwood.
a question.
I'm taking Greenwood over Messi, dude.
I know that. That's what. Don't give me that look.
Mason
you know that's
Greenwood
who he's
is.
taking.
I'm telling you, Mason Greenwood.
That's who I thought
Mason
you were.
Greenwood is better than all your favorite players.
Okay. Oh.
Let's go. Debate me. Debate me right now. Debate me right now.
You don't want the smoke. All right. We're gonna wrap it up. I say we all give kind of like what we did last time, one hot take or one statement that we want to make just to close it out.
Okay. I want one thing on the record first from all. Just a yes or a no. Is Mikel Arteta the manager of Arsenal in 5 years?
Somebody else.
Yes.
No.
He will be.
My answer is no. Okay, now I can do that.
Interesting. That's an interesting to leave it. I'll start off with the last statement. I kind of just wanted to bring up, we had this little scarf here, kind of give a big shout out to the St. Louis hopefuls, and we have a MLS team coming to St. Louis, and I couldn't be happier. You will see me at every single game.
We all support the same team now.
Exactly. I just kind of want to give
our faith in Big Jim.
Yes.
We know he's going to take care of us.
Yes, St. Louis City
Cheers, Kev.
is going to be a big thing for us. I kind of just wanted to promote it a little bit because we have big things coming to the city of St. Louis coming in the next years.
My hot take for you all is, does PSG reach another Champions League final the next 5 years?
Ooh. Do we answer or we just keep going?
For next time.
They're in a weird spot.
For next time. Keep going. You're up, Dovs.
My hot take, and
We already had one with Greenwood being better than Messi.
I mean, that's not a hot take. That's facts. My hot take would be, I think that the top three this year are going to be decided by 5 points or less.
Damn.
Love
God.
that. Love that.
I
I pray for that.
I think this upcoming league, with Chelsea being Chelsea, Liverpool staying Liverpool, and even if City doesn't sign Messi, I mean, think of how good City is.
Oh, yeah, they're still
City's
City.
still City. But
They don't have to get rid of
I think
those
if they
people.
do sign Messi, like I think that the league next year has the ability to come down to what happens in a Manchester City versus Liverpool game. Who
That'd
gets
be
those 3
awesome.
points?
I think it could be too.
I think it's going to come down. We're not going to have this Liverpool running away with it. I think it's going to be decided by 5 points or less.
Interesting. All right, Sean, you're up.
Gotta say, cheers to the man Dietrich. Appreciate you. And my hot take is Wolves in the 4th spot.
Wow.
What happens when we sign Jimenez?
All right, let's get a nice little cheers, boys.
Yeah, cheers to my
First episode of the
First
Mecca.
episode. Thank you for
Cheers,
listening.
bye.
Thank you guys for listening. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube
Smash that
channel.
like button.
Smash that like button. Follow us on Instagram.
Cheers.
Over and out.
You're a TikToker, dude, aren't you?